1835. 13 years old, and already 3 days into a walk that should have broken him. His boots were already coming apart. He kept walking anyway. Paris. Just get to Paris. He'd left behind a stepmother who made the house unbearable, and a future with no room in it for his name. 2 years, roughly 400 kilometers, on foot. And in 1837, at 16, he finally reached Paris. For a boy from a village of a few hundred people, it must have looked like another world altogether. No money, no home, just patience and the courage to knock on precisely the right door and ask for a job. Box-making, in those days, was a serious trade. Every trunk was built by hand, and every lid was domed so as to shed the rain. Even as a young apprentice, a domed lid did not make sense to him. For 17 years, he mastered every detail of the craft, all the while thinking that a domed lid was wrong. Word spread of Louis' skills in trunk making. Paris's most fashionable circles began asking for him directly. One morning, a messenger from the palace arrived, sent, as it turned out, from the Empress herself. 1853. Empress Eugénie, wife of Napoleon III, the most powerful woman in France, needed a boxmaker of her own.
Send for the young one, Marechal's apprentice.
His hands were steady as he broke the seal to the royal letter. Just about. One royal signature. That was all it took for every door in Paris to open for him.
I will not disappoint the house.
So in 1854, he did something almost no apprentice ever dared do. He walked out and opened an atelier of his own. The sign went up above the door. Louis Vuitton. Every established boxmaker in Paris was still building the same rounded lid their masters had taught them. A design nobody had questioned in decades. Night after night, he sketched the same shape, over and over, until finally, it was right. Louis said to himself.
A dome only works if nothing stands on top of it.
1858. He finally unveiled his creation, a flat-topped trunk in gray Trianon canvas. And for the very first time, you could stack one trunk on top of another. A rival trunk maker tried to copy it. The lid wouldn't sit straight. Orders came in faster than the workshop could keep up. By 1859, demand had outgrown him. So he opened a larger workshop on the river at Asnières.
Keep it steady!
What one man had built alone, a dozen craftsmen now built together. Louis said one day to a new worker, firm but not unkind.
Every seam must survive a shipwreck. Every one.
His trunks were already crossing the channel, and further still, by steamship. But success came with a shadow attached. One that would follow this name for the rest of its life. Imitators. Louis studied the copied trunk closely. Every detail was wrong. A lid is easy to copy. A reputation built over 20 years isn't.
They can copy a lid. They cannot copy patience.
In 1885, the house crossed the Channel into Great Britain for the first time. A shop in London was opened. Then, in 1870, war reached Paris itself.
Barricades went up everywhere, and smoke hung low over the Parisian rooftops.
Unfortunately, Louis's own shopfront didn't escape the damage caused by the war. His shop lay in ruins, but his resolve didn't. Louis said to himself, with no self-pity in it,
Then we start again. Properly this time.
and rebuild he did. He built it with the scale to grow and expand. New tools, many new employees, and a bigger sign above the door. His young son watched him work, late into the night, hiding behind the doorway. Louis gently told his son,
One day this name is yours to protect.
Through the 1870s and into the 80s, the house kept growing. New trunks, new canvas patterns, new clients across all of Europe. Within a year, fake Louis Vuitton trunks were appearing in 3 different cities. He introduced a striped canvas, copied within months. A checkered pattern followed in 1888. Copied again. Louis, with quiet frustration, worn down but not beaten, said,
Every pattern we invent, they steal within a season.
He was older now, slower at the workbench, but still a perfectionist to his craft. In 1892, at the age of 70, Louis Vuitton died, leaving the business and the problems to his son. His son stood alone, standing at the same workbench his father had worked at. George said, with more anger and frustration than his father said.
They copy everything he made. Everything except his name.
On paper, business was steady. But every fake sold cost him something the books couldn't show. Market stalls sold Vuitton-style trunks in the open, badly made and cheap. By the mid-1890s, the counterfeiters were no longer simply stealing sales. They were quietly destroying the one thing money cannot buy back: trust. For hours, George stared at a blank page, and no inspiration came to him. George thought to himself,
If they want the name that badly, I'll make it impossible to fake.
1896. 4 years after his father's death, George took the initials L and V and wove them into a single pattern, almost impossible to copy. Flowers. 4 pointed stars, woven tight around his father's initials. A tribute, and a trap for anyone who tried to copy it. The first roll of Monogram canvas came off the press. In 1912, people began saying a Vuitton trunk had survived the sinking of the Titanic, and that everything inside it was still dry. It's a wonderful story. There's just no solid record it's actually true. What is true? In 1930, the house launched a soft, rounded travel bag, the Speedy.
Charming.
For the next 50 years, that monogram pattern outlived world wars, shifting fashions, and every copycat that tried to kill it off. Then in 1987 came a turn nobody at that original workshop could ever have foreseen. Across the table,
The contract was pushed toward the man who'd take the company into its next chapter. Louis Vuitton merged with Moet Hennessy, Champagne, Cognac, and Trunks to form an entirely new group, LVMH. A new chairman would take the helm in the years that followed. Under new leadership, the house that began with a single flat trunk became the anchor of the largest luxury empire on Earth. Today, Louis Vuitton is worth somewhere in the region of $48 billion. The single most valuable luxury brand alive. Not bad for a boy who started with nothing but a pair of worn-out boots. Please ring the bell, subscribe and like, and let me know what you would do to achieve what you want in life. More amazing stories to follow.